Hey guys, welcome back to another TM Academy video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the two newest Japanese sets, Snow Hazard and Clayburst. All the cards have been revealed and we're going to go through which cards look to be good and standard, and we'll talk about GLC a little bit. I said we, why did I say?
He don't speak French.
Both of us in one video. That doesn't happen very often.
I know. Two of us in the same video over here. I mean, I'm really excited about this. I'm super stoked. It might sound a bit echoey. This is the best that we could do.
Don't focus on that.
You know, we're gonna be doing a set review. I'm real excited. Also, being into GLC, I think, makes these set reviews a little bit nicer because we can give you more insight on some cards that you would normally overlook.
Yeah. So, let's look at them.
Go for it.
Search kit.
Okay. This is Snow Hazard.
Starting with Snow Hazard, yeah. Search kit,
Nothing.
Masquerade, flip a coin until you get tails. For each head, discard a random card from your opponent's hand.
Nothing crazy.
Hand control.
But pretty bad compared to Work Trio.
Yeah, Combi mid. Vespiquen, kind of our first real card here. Raid command for 1 grass, 120. Shuffle a bench Combi and all cards attached to your deck.
That's not that great.
Gross.
And you can't play double copies in GLC because it don't even work there.
Oh yeah, terrible in GLC. Let's look at this Abominus now. Damage can't be healed from any Pokemon.
And that might see play, but I doubt it.
I think the only place you would see it is Zoroark, and that would be it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of healing going on.
No. Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna be playing healing cards, so you don't gotta worry about it. Actually, maybe it's a direct counter to Goodra. If that gets too good.
Stage 1.
All right, we got the Bone Sweet line. Let's just skip to Serena. Heal 60, or no, Queen's Heal for deal 60 damage during your opponent's next turn.
Might not be bad in grass.
Evolve.
A double grass, 160 attack. It has 160 HP, which is a high number. 2 grass, so it could be 1 attachment with Venusaur out. Venusaur, of course, if you're not familiar with GLC, Venusaur doubles all your grass energies, making them double. The 60 making it not being able to evolve could be spicy.
160 damage is good though.
Yeah.
The problem is there's no.
You're not getting any benefit. Good. Yeah, because grass really thrives off of all of the Pokemon getting the other Pokemon and your basics and stage 1s doing stuff for you.
I think there's just generally better cards to play.
I think I can.
Grass has a lot of cards that are good attackers and providing something else.
Great support as well.
We got Bramblin and Bramblegast. Bramblegast for 3 colors, 80 damage during your opponent's next turn. Pokemon's attach cost 2 colorless more.
That's interesting.
It's interesting. I don't know.
You might see some weirdness.
Maybe with the triple energy. The triple energy that we'll get to later.
Sander might play this.
Yeah, it's a very weird card. The problem is.
What's the problem?
They just got to retreat.
I guess you're right.
Relor. Those are
nothing crazy.
Basics. Wuchin EX. This card's. I think it's amazing.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. In a bubble, it's great.
Sure, 60 damage snipe
some other
per
cards.
Prize card taken.
So at most you're doing 300 snipe.
I think, ideally, you're playing Fortress EX in Iono.
Yeah,
and
I think that's the whole deck.
But is it good enough? I don't know. Fortress EX is this set too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll get to that.
There's a lot of combos. Some things I like about this. Base 230 HP.
I mean, that is nice.
That's good. I feel like 220 is a dangerous number. A lot of things can get to 220. Just in my experience playing Oink alone, 220 is pretty standard. The zoom roll here, 100 damage, flip 2 coins. This attack does 100 damage for each heads. You don't want to flip coins. You'd rather get something that's going to guarantee that damage.
120 for it's not great.
It's not great. Love Disc, search your deck for 2 support cards. Ice Cube, usually pretty cool. 100 damage, discard all energy from this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 100 less.
This could be good in GLC if it said pick up the energy.
Yeah, just put it in your hand.
But discarding the energy makes it not great.
Not great. I think this card will be alright in GLC. 80 damage. If this Pokemon has any special energy attached, this attack does 140 more damage.
As a stage 1, that's pretty good.
The HP is 180, which is also cracked.
You'd have to kind of severely change your build up a little bit from like the Whale Lord tanky guy.
Yeah, you run a few more special energies.
Yeah.
The thing. This card's interesting. Veluza, 120 damage. If you don't have any cards in your hand, this attack can be used for 1 water energy. It's only 120 damage though. Nothing crazy, but I think it is interesting.
GLC doesn't work really.
All right, then we get to our boy Baxcalibur here.
Now this line is great.
This is GLC
for 2 reasons. First reason, they're printing an illustration rare of all 3 of these cards, which I'm sure we'll find a picture here somewhere to show you later.
Yeah.
But there's an illustration rare of all 3 of these cards. So if you're a GLC bling man you can put this in your GLC deck. But the other good reason is because Baxcalibur is basically a reprint of the Deluge Blastoise. If you don't remember, Deluge Blastoise back in the day, it's the same thing as Absolute Zero. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a basic water energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon anywhere. Not benched like Frostmoth, any Pokemon. So you can, and it was printed on that Blastoise, the same thing. It was just called Deluge. Now the difference is, this has 20 more HP than the Blastoise. This has 2 less retreat cost than the Blastoise, and the Blastoise's attack is not good. The Blastoise's attack has an infinite damage ceiling, theoretically. I guess the damage ceiling would be if you played 3 cards and then 57 energy, right?
Yeah.
But it does 40 plus 10 for each energy attack attached with a minimum of 4. Yeah. So you're not doing enough.
This is just better.
This is just a blanket 130 for 3, which is much higher than the Blastoise. And then it does the same thing. And then it has 20 extra HP. It's 2 less retreat cost, which is really good. Is its weakness any different?
Weak to steel instead of grass.
Or
grass or electric.
I think it's electric, which is, it's definitely better. Metal is not as good in GLC. So that's a better resistance, or that's a better weakness typing, because you're typically weak to mostly electric. So having a guy in there that's weak to steel is really, really nice. I think this is a fantastic addition to Water GLC, and will just probably immediately replace all Deluge Blastoises.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if we're going to have enough, if the game's slow enough to actually see that get played in standard.
And because of this next card right here.
Yeah, so Chen Pao EX is one of the new EXs. Its ability, once during your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may search your deck for up to 2 water energy, reveal them, put them into your hand. Just a capacious bucket.
Yeah.
And then its attack for 2 water, discard any amount of water energy from your Pokemon that's attacked, does 60 damage for each card you discarded in this way.
Yeah, so we've seen this before on Ice Rider Calyrex, kind of. But he's a VMAX, 3 prizes, and he doesn't have this fire ability, in my opinion.
Yeah. This card's great.
This card could see play.
Palkia is still...
It really depends, yeah. With Palkia V-Star being an ability that you can use to ramp energy, this makes Palkia V-Star better. And then next rotation, which, is always a conversation. Next rotation, when the game, I believe, will be slowed down as much as it will be, Baxcalibur will be a great addition to being able to just... use him to grab 2 energy, ramp those 2 energy. That's 120 already. Yep. You can't Melanie because Melanie's V, right? Yeah, so you can't Melanie, but you can...
I mean, if you're playing... I assume you're going to play Palkia with this. Yeah, so you can Melanie to the Palkia.
Yeah, and you can do some shenanigans.
There's a space for this in the meta.
This will make a splash, pun intended.
All right, let's move on. We got Slowking EX here, terrestrial type, of course. Profound Knowledge deals 30 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. And then Wisdom Headbutt deals 130, and you may search your deck for any 2 cards, put them in your hand. I think it's just a little too slow.
It's very slow.
With Judge, Iono, you're not going to...
It's not great.
It's not worth it. Your opponent's going to know you got something cracked in your hand.
Stage 1, it's a 2-prizer.
This card's interesting. Got the tell.
I do like this card. And I also kind of like this card for Psychic GLC. If you can find a slot for it. Yes. Of course, the deck's already really tight, so... It really depends on your build, because you can play like damage spread slower builds, and then this would really work in those.
So you have the ability Astrology. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. If you do, put one of those cards back on the top and and the other on the bottom of the deck.
So you're doing top deck control. If you play some item lock, if you play just if you play item lock or anything like that, this is really good to make sure that also the top deck that they receive is going to also be bad, if possible. But
and its attack isn't bad either. A Psychic and a Colorless deal 120. That's just 1 Psychic in GLC if you have Dimension Valley out and discard a random card from your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
So you can, what I would think you would do is you would let loose with Marshadow. You would use Astrology to make their top deck hopefully worse. And
then make him discard
then discard 1 randomly. So they have 3 cards and a bad top deck.
Yeah.
So
this could pop up an interesting build for GLC. And that's the thing I always say. I haven't said it on this channel because we haven't done anything yet, but hopefully they add some official GLC stuff to PTCGL so we can make more content. But playing GLC allows you to get more excited about sets coming out, because this set is already really good, and we'll get to some of the reasons later. Oh my god, that Sinistea art is so good. I just noticed it. But when you look at sets, not only is a set really fire, but if you're someone who's also into GLC, you'll see cards like this that would normally be like, oh, that might be, and you look at it and be like, oh, this could actually be really good, and you become more excited to pull certain cards. You become more excited about just random cards that would normally be bulk. Yeah. So I highly recommend anyone who doesn't know anything about GLC or anything like that, try to get into it, because it could make these sets more exciting for you.
All right, so we got Mimikyu here. with the ability Safeguard. Prevent all damage in this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon EX and Pokemon V.
This will definitely see play.
Yeah, this will be great.
Yeah.
There's
even though its attack isn't great.
No.
Just 7, pretty much.
I mean, it's still good if your opponent's not doing anything.
Of course.
This will lock out just some decks completely from being able to play.
Miltank seen play, Decidueye seen play. This will also see just as much play, I think.
Yeah, I think a little weaker though, because Pokemon EX usually you have a Pokemon besides.
Yeah, EX
just
is usually
EX.
getting paired with something.
Yeah, so we'll see it. I think like this would shut down Miraidon completely. I think.
Yeah.
So certain decks like that. Sinistea evolves into Poltergeist.
That art though.
That art is.
That's that Yukamori.
It is great.
My favorite.
What about Poltergeist? Put up to any two from discarding hand. Put 5 damage counters. Not great.
Not the sauce.
Oh, really? Choose a Pokemon from your discard pile and put it onto your bench.
Could be okay because it allows you to skip over evolutions.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be good in GLC maybe. In standard, I don't know. It's 78.
It's another weird card that maybe somebody could do something with.
You might see standard with it, of course, but.
Let's see here. Annihilate EX, Angry Grudge, 20 damage. Put up to 12 damage counters on this Pokemon. This attack does 20 damage for each damage counter you placed in this way.
I don't think it's great.
There might be some weird tech stuff you can do with it.
240 max damage, but causing 120 to
for
yourself.
For one fighting?
It's bad, man.
That's not that bad.
As a stage 2 as well? Come on now.
It's not the most terrible attack I've ever seen.
Come on now.
Let's see here. Sudowoodo. Flip a coin, prevent damage. Not the best.
Not the sauce.
Glamora, when this Pokemon is knocked out, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent can't take any prize cards.
This isn't bad.
This is probably really good in GLC, actually.
This is great in GLC because it's a fighting Pokemon that does poison here. Mm-hmm. But during checkup, 6 damage counters instead of 1 for 1 fighting energy. This is a fantastic card for fighting GLC. And then this will be an immediate put in. And
it has Ascension.
Yeah,
which is already a great move. And just straight up evolves.
And he has 130 HP. That's a good number.
It's a good
because 120 tends to be the magic damage count that people have. So having 130 or more HP is very nice in GLC.
Yes. Honchkrow deals 140 damage. Discard a card from your hand if you can't. This attack does nothing. Mid.
Whoa! You're skipping the important stuff. The Murkrow with the Wings of Union.
Oh, true.
You're bringing back, of course, Mad Party and Night March. Hopefully they print one more. If they print one more, I think this has like incredible potential.
Yeah, I think it's cracked if there's one more.
But if they don't print one more, it'll be a fringe tier 2 deck because the 1 energy attack, Ditto being in the format. So.
All right, you got Comeuppance, 20 damage during your opponent's next turn. If this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, put damage counters on the attacking Pokemon equal to the damage done to this Pokemon.
That ain't bad.
It's interesting. I don't think it's that insane. Is this another Yukamori? No. Okay.
No.
It almost looks like that. This Bronzong, 70 plus 90 if you have the same number of cards. Not crazy. Corviknight, 50. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, on this Pokemon next turn.
Oh.
So 200 damage, discard 2 energy.
It can be hurt, but not KO'd.
The problem with this is you can't play this in GLC. Because the other 2 Pokemon are normal types.
What you mean?
It doesn't become a metal type until.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's unplayable.
Not going to see play.
That sucks, yeah.
Caparajah. Insane 300 HP for a stage 1.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And it takes 30 less damage from attacks. So
super high.
Basically 330.
Yeah.
And then Nosequake, 260 damage. This attack does 30 damage to each of your bench Pokemon.
2 prizes, man. And then you pair this with the picnic basket.
The problem is Metal.
Serena.
Metal needs
it's not. You got better options.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the sauce. Now, this is the sauce in GLC.
Yes, this card's great in GLC.
130 base, but it has 100 more HP if it has 3 metal energy on it. So, and then it deals 100 damage and also deals 30 to one of your own benched. If it has 4 colorless.
Not one of your own, one of your opponents. Chill out, bro.
Oh, sorry. One of your opponent's bench Pokemon.
Yeah, much better.
So it's really good.
No, it's great.
Especially in GLC. Like I said, the metal's missing something in standard to really pop off.
I think metal
that's gonna be great in GLC.
Got buffed this set and will be buffed this next set. You got the new Magnezone with Giga Magnet.
That came out in Crown Zenith.
Did it?
Yeah.
But you have that, and then so you're ramping
you're
it
just
on energy.
missing. And the thing is, you're missing like.
It's almost there. It's real close.
You're missing one thing.
It's real close to being in there. Yeah.
The Dunsparce. This might see play in
Lugia.
And Lugia, yeah.
It could be in Lugia. They're already playing Dunsparce to prevent damage by weakness, and then now you can paralyze if you want.
And then you just shuffle a card and all the energy back into your deck, and deals 100 damage. Not bad. Pelipper, when you play this Pokemon to evolve on your Pokemon during your turn, you may either search your deck for a supporter card, or put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand.
This card's great.
Just grab a supporter card.
Yeah, this card is great.
From anywhere.
Yes.
Really.
This could be normal GLC.
Yeah, not bad. It's attack 90 damage. Yeah.
It's purely a support Pokemon.
All right, we got Slacking here, 180 HP. During Pokemon checkout, if it's asleep, you gotta flip 2 coins. But its attack deals 240.
That's so much damage.
Yep, 240, and the Pokemon is now asleep.
Okay, so I play normal GLC. That's my personal favorite deck. It's a real toss-up of which one of these is better because you already play the Snorlax,
yeah,
which has the same kind of thing, but it does 180 damage. And sometimes, especially when you're playing people who play Wailord, that's not enough. So 240 damage, you'll hit over everything. It's the same amount of energy cost.
Yeah,
and it has 20 extra HP.
But it's a stage 2.
Well, I'm talking about with the Slacking.
Yeah.
Because you're already playing Slacking. But the other Slacking, while it's in the active, turns off all your opponent's abilities.
Yeah. So it's switched to value more.
And it hits for 160, but then it can attack the following turn.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a very interesting conversation to be had in GLC of whether this one or the other one is better. Mm-hmm. Turning off abilities is fantastic, but this damage number is insane. The 20 extra HP is great, and it's the same attack cost, way more damage. It can attack the following turn, especially if you move it, and or if it wakes up. I don't know.
It's pretty good. These two won't see play in GLC.
Not at all.
Squawk Ability EX is cracked. On your first turn of the game, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You can't use more. What do you mean?
I just don't know if it is, man. You gotta have it out. Got to take a bench spot, I guess. And that attack's not bad either.
And you can use Nest Ball.
Yeah, but that on the first turn of the game, discard, draw 6.
Well, then you just get rid of it every turn after that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know.
Battle VIP Pass is amazing.
Maybe throwing 1 into most things would be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can do this on turn 1.
Yeah.
Like you're going first. You can use this. It's a supporter ability. It's cracked. Super Rod, shuffle up to 3 in any combination.
Yeah, let's get into these good. Yeah, Super Rod coming back is fantastic.
Oh, you want to talk about good ones? Motivational Lemonade.
Yeah, sure.
Deal 60 damage.
No.
Only if you're behind in prizes.
Yeah, no.
You got Grusha, draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. If you have no energy cards attached to any of your Pokemon, draw up to 7 cards instead.
Interesting, but not great.
Not a whole lot of decks you could use that in.
This will probably see play. At least from where we are now with Mew and Lugia, this is a great card. As a great one of.
Yeah, as an Oinkalone player, I do not want to see this. I hate this.
Discarding a special energy from every single one of your opponent's Pokemon, that's great.
We got Snow Mountain of Disaster here. Whenever any player attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their basic non-water Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon.
Another water buff. This is just a pure buff to water. I think will probably get put in my fiance's water deck. And then this will get put in every standard deck and, I don't know about
not every standard deck.
But it'll get put in a lot of things. Standard, GLC, any format. This card is awesome.
Yeah, if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, and this card is attached to an evolution Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box. So you have 3 qualifiers there.
Yeah.
Behind on prizes, has to be an evolution Pokemon, and it can't have a rule box.
This is a balanced card in my opinion.
Get 3 of any energy.
Triple energy makes you scared at first, but it's, in my personal opinion, it's balanced incredibly well.
It's balanced because it makes
box, evolution Pokemon, and prize cards.
It makes cards that are bad good instead of making cards that are already good better.
You can, like we were saying with Wug Trio, costs 3 energy. You can now attach that because you're never taking a prize. It makes that deck better. Is it going to make it tier 1? Is it going to make it like a menace? No. But it's really good. And then in GLC, you're playing a ton of evolution Pokemon. There's big, heavy swings back and forth in that format. You might be 3 prizes ahead, but then 2 prizes down. Yeah. This seems like take one of your basic energy, toss it, throw one of these in. It just makes sense because they don't have the rest of it, but I believe it's still a colorless.
No, any type.
Yeah, no, I mean like if it's
if you're behind, it's just a regular color.
If it's just if you don't fit any of the like the whatever you call them, it's still a colorless energy, so it's still fine to put in.
It's absolutely
it's
cracked.
Great. It's great. Now this is good.
So you have
this is great for grass. I think you should be tossing this in. Dude, come on, dog.
You
ever faced Dragapult? Come on now.
Yeah, there's no space. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attacks, flip a coin. If head, prevent the damage.
And it's on both of them. It's on stage 1 and a stage 2. And then you do 30-30 or 60-30.
I shan't be playing it. I don't do enough damage. Bro. Don't do enough damage.
But you could stay alive forever.
No, I can stay alive until my opponent flips heads, which is probably gonna happen.
Tails.
It's okay. It's okay.
They have to flip tails.
Fortress.
Which is different.
This card makes grass decks viable, and this will be my favorite card, probably for a long time.
But when paired with a trainer card we'll talk about soon,
This
this is
ability
cool.
is top notch.
It's very balanced.
Once during
also,
your
in my
turn,
opinion.
you may search your deck for up to 5 basic grass energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. If you did this, this Pokemon is knocked out.
Yeah, so you're giving your opponent 2 prize cards in exchange
For
5
5
energy spread anywhere to any Pokemon with no. It doesn't have to be evolution, V, rule box, none of that. Just 5 energy anywhere you want.
Correct.
And the attack's not the worst.
120
120, 30
damage.
less.
Yeah.
You know, if you find yourself with that out, you know, it's whatever.
Yep.
But that pairs well with some other stuff.
There's some good stuff.
Yes.
Heracross, mid. Spidops. Each player shuffles their active Pokemon and all cards attached to them into their deck.
Interesting, but not great.
Yeah, pretty weird. Camera up to 50. Each player discards the top card of the deck. This does 100 more damage for each energy card discarded in this way.
Nah.
You could maybe do your own deck and deal 150, but it's gonna be hard to do both.
Yeah, it's just not gonna work.
No, this Talonflame, 50 damage. The defending Pokemon can't retreat, and Wind Rage. If the Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does 90.
So 160. That's not bad for 1
70 plus
energy,
90.
but I don't know. Not great.
All right, we got Chi-Yu. For 1 red, discard 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. 1 fire.
It
It's
does
red.
say R, yeah.
Flame Surge, 100 damage. Choose up to 3 of your bench Pokemon. Search your deck for a basic fire energy and attach 1 to each of those Pokemon.
It's a basic. So. This could see some fringe play. I doubt it in standard. And you can't play it in GLC because it's a rule box, but I don't know. Ramping 3 energy around is pretty good, but you're only doing 100 damage, and look at its HP number. 190. That's
it's no 230. It's no 230.
You can Techno Blast with a double turbo and not have to worry about anything
Gardevoir
else.
Can knock it out.
Yes.
All right, Raichu. 200 damage. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. Or search your deck for your 2 basic energy and attach them to this Pokemon for 1 colorless.
That's classic. That's how
that's
normal. Like these are how they're always printed.
This Luxray, pretty good. Once during your turn, if this card is in your hand, you have more prizes remaining than your opponent. You can just play this card on your bench.
That's not bad.
And then 180 damage deals 20 damage to itself.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's not bad. They just got electric generator too in GLC. Like
Incursion, pretty trash. Bellybolt EX, 2 colorless. This attack does 50 to 1 of your opponent's Pokemon. Kind of mid. 50 is just not enough. You're not knocking out anything on the bench. Most people have 60 basic Pokemon. I think Routes is 60. Like there's just
Routes is 70.
Is it 70?
Yeah, most of them.
Well,
there is a
70.
61, but most people play 3 of the 70, 1 of the 60.
Bidoof 60, Skwovet 60.
Yeah.
It just isn't doing anything for me.
I agree.
All right, so let's take a look at what's next.
Love that Jigglypuff art.
Once during your turn, you may attach a
therapy energy
from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Just one time, you can attach a therapy energy. That
is the most nuts. Has that ever been a thing? An ability that reads you can attach this specific special energy?
I'm sure it probably has.
We have to ask one of our friends.
Well, so you have like what is it? Houndoom that gets a single strike energy or fighting. Sorry, fighting.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, it's single strike, right?
Yeah, but that was like a energy that like specifically.
I know.
That was like a whole archetype. This is just
weird.
This card can attach to this card, which is just a regular card.
Booty.
Oh yeah, terrible.
Spiritomb, good. As long as Pokemon's in play, basic Pokemon V have no abilities.
That's a great card. They said Mew has not had enough counters printed.
I don't know why. It's not gonna affect most of the decks I play, but yeah.
If you play Mew, look out. I guess
just Mew hate some more. If you have a stadium in play, this deck does 160. Pulse Sand, not good. So Rule Edge, let's see here. 50 damage, heal 30, mid. 100 damage if your opponent's active Pokemon is EX or Pokemon V. This attack does 100 more damage.
I think this would be great if the energy cost was 2.
Yeah, it's just not. You can't commit that much.
If the energy cost was 2, you might actually see this pop up. But
yeah. Okay, let's talk about our girl Tinkaton. 30 damage attack does 30 damage times the number of cards in your hand. That shouldn't be that hard to get to like 8 cards in hand, 7 cards in hand.
Yeah, 7 cards in hand. 210 for 2. Probably 190 double colorless. Maybe
there's ways to do this. You can do refinement stuff, concealed cards.
I don't know. It's not the best.
No, it's not the best.
It is 300 HP. It's a stage 2. I don't think it'll see much play.
And it's also 140 damage, and it's a shred attack, right?
Goes through anything, yeah. It'll go through, it'll go through that Mimikyu we talked about earlier.
Yep. Let's see here. Pupitar. No, we're waiting for Larvitar on him. Wish Cash. For each fighting energy, discard the top card of your opponent's deck.
Now this could see some play. I'm gonna tell you why.
How do you overload the fighting energy?
Were you in the group chat?
I saw it. It was all in Japanese. Didn't know what it did.
So Wiz Cash.
Yes.
It's not basic fighting energy. It's fighting energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you play the triple energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you play the triple energy. You put Diancie in the active. You let it chill. You play the triple energy, right? You
Yeah.
play a couple Diancie to be immune to escape rope.
Yeah.
There's a Kingdra that's when your active is knocked out, put all water energy attached to it to this Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Not basic water energy.
Water
Water
energy.
energy.
So
right? And then there's Armor Rouge, which is move fighting energy from any of your Pokemon to any of your other Pokemon. Not basic fighting energy.
or fire.
Fire energy. So what you do is you get a Whiscash in the active with 4 scramble energies on it. So ostensibly 12, right? So 12, and then you mill them for 12, or I guess 11 if you attach a regular fighting energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then that all gets moved to the Kingdra when it gets knocked out. You put another Whiscash into the active, to the Kingdra. Then you use the Armor Rouge to move it all back to a new Whiscash.
This is crack.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right, I'm excited for that.
It's a lot of setup. But it's because of the specific readings. They each, all of them only work because they don't say basic. They all just say fighting energy. So it works for special energy, and this is any energy you want it to when you're behind on prizes. So and they're all evolution Pokemon.
As long as they take one prize, you're Gucci.
All 3 of them are evolution. Kingdra's a stage 1, Armor Rouge is a stage 1, Whiscash is a stage 1. So you just get as much scramble energy onto a Whiscash as possible, make it pop, move it to the Kingdra, move it from the Kingdra to a new Whiscash, and then keep the cycle going.
I like it.
Yeah, it's super cool, man.
It's pretty cool.
It's I think could be better than Wugtrio.
It probably will be.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. There's a lot to set up.
You could also still possibly include like a 1/1 Wugtrio in there or something, but it is a lot of setup. It requires 3 stage 1s to be out.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, a second Whiscash. You need the second Whiscash. Obviously against Lost Box, it's rough. I don't know, but it could be cool. It could be cool.
So we got Toxicroak. Doesn't really do much. 60 damage and your opponent's poisoned.
Yep, nothing.
Abominable. 170 can't attack next turn. It's a good number, but not enough. Passimian 70 damage, moving energy from this Pokemon when you're benched. Nothing great. Let's see here. Garganackle, Minecraft Pokemon. Heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. Yeah. And deals 130 damage. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck.
Not great. Could be in fighting maybe.
Ting Lu, this is a very interesting card. 240 on a basic. Big guy. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon with damage counters on them have no abilities.
It's interesting. You can play it with Hawlucha.
Mm-hmm. And you can play it with some of the stadiums that deal damage, like Gape Jaw Bog. There's Alakazam. There's also the new stadium we just saw that if you're not attaching water energy, you take 20 damage. So, and then it deals 150 damage and put 2 damage counters to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So you can also target it with the attack.
It's interesting. It has a high HP for a basic 240, like some of the highest out there, really. But I think the 3 fighting cost is gonna make this not playable.
I don't know. We'll have to see. There might be some control shenanigans.
If it didn't have the addendum has to be your active, I think it would be really great.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it does. Once during your turn, this Pokemon moves from the bench to the active. You can force one of your opponent's Pokemon to move to the active as well.
Interesting boss.
But it only does 70. Yeah. So you're moving this to the active and then
ideally skedaddling.
Yeah, you want to get out of there. Tyranitar, 30 for each of your Pokemon's benched Pokemon. Not bad for 1 dark.
Yeah.
And then 230 and discard the top 4 cards of your own deck for 2 dark. That's
230 really damage.
And
that's so good.
Yep. 180.
I think that could be in GLC too because you're doing 150 for 1. Most likely.
Again, problem
you're doing
here,
30 plus.
Problem here, I don't know if there's dark type Larvitars and Pupitars.
You might.
I think they're just rock ground, and then it gains dark type later.
Yeah, that's rough.
So unfortunate.
The unfortunate downfall of GLC.
You got Grafai here. Spit poison. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Or 40 damage. Discard any number of basic energies from your hand. This deck has 40 damage for each type of basic energy you discarded.
Each type, not each one. That sucks.
Yeah, not great. Bombardier, search your deck for basic Pokemon, put on your bench, or 120, discard an energy. Not great.
Nope.
Clover EX.
This could be season play for sure.
Covert Flight, 70 damage during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon.
Interesting.
Like Flying Pikachu. Or Dominant Echo, 140 damage during your opponent's next turn. They can't play any special energy or stadium cards. So you kind of get an option of how you want to annoy your opponent here.
This seems like a card you definitely throw into Drago.
Yes, because it gives you 2 options, which is great.
Yeah, you throw 1 or 2 of these into Drago. The format continues to slow down. Drago becomes even better.
Yeah.
Also, if you reprint DDE.
It's not happening, brother. You got Farigiraf here. Either face, you make yourself or your opponent shuffle and draw 4. It's a forced judge on one person. Or 130 for 3 colorless. You got Mousehold here. which does 50 for a colorless, or for 3 colorless, put damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon equal to the number of mouse hold and play.
So you could do 40 to each of their Pokemon.
Problem: 60 HP stage 1.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's pretty bad. Flamigo.
Let's
this is
go.
probably the best of the Wings of Union.
Yeah.
They just copy and pasted. It's
Yeah.
2 colorless to attack with this one.
Yeah.
But its ability, once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you may search your deck for 3 Flamigo and put them in your hand.
In your hand is what makes this great.
Get rid of them.
Yes, because you put them in your hand, and then of course you're wanting to just yeet those away. That's so great. That's phenomenal.
Yep. And then we have Deliver Your Drone. Flip 2 coins at both our heads. Search your deck for any one card. Put it in your hand. Bad.
Terrible card. Play Chromatic instead.
Yep. Charm of Courage. The basic one.
Cape with Toughness.
But
It's
was
being
Cape also basic?
Yes.
Okay.
The reason it's printed as something different is because Cape had like item on it. Now tool cards are tools and not items, and so it's this now.
This Saguaro, heal 50 from up to 2 of your Pokemon.
His full art looks nice.
Full art's amazing. Or alt art.
Yeah.
Now this is this card will see the most play.
You're gonna see this card
every deck.
Probably played as a 2-of in every single deck. Maybe more in control archetypes. Maybe more in fortress.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm probably playing floor in like
this
every deck.
card is insane. It's a combination of which back in the day meant shuffle your hand into your deck and your opponent, and each of you draw cards equal to the amount of prizes you have remaining, and Marnie. Instead of shuffling your hand into your deck, it puts them on the bottom, and then you draw for the amount of prize cards remaining. It's a combination of those 2 cards. This card is great. It's a fantastic card.
Yeah, so if you're playing those decks like Fortress or any deck really, like Trio, where you're going to be behind on prizes, you just play Iono, your opponent draws 1, 2 cards, you draw 6, and then
Path.
Yep, and then you shut them down, hope they have no draws, and you just run over them and get a good comeback going. So I love comeback cards. This is great because I don't play very aggressive.
Yeah.
I like to set up and then...
You a slow boy. You slow.
I'm pretty slow. We got a stadium here. This is purely for Spite Ups.
For Spite Ups. It sucks that it's only basic non-fighting Pokemon and not just all non-fighting Pokemon.
Yeah.
But Spite Ups does more damage for their retreat cost. And instead of getting Galar Mine, which increased the retreat by 2 for all Pokemon, this one is just
non-fighting basics.
Non-fighting basics.
And then lastly, Therapy Energy.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's just the Pokemon this is at can't be asleep, confused, or paralyzed. And if it's already affected by one of those, it goes away.
Yeah, I don't think it's great.
No, it's mid. It's a better than what we were trying to do in Lugia.
Spiral Energy.
Yeah. It's just better than that.
Yeah.
But maybe a one of, because I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not terrible. And that's pretty much all the cards here. This is all the cards coming in the 2 newest Japanese sets, and what will probably be our
Paldea Evolved.
Paldea Evolved.
Scroll down. Does it have the
No, it doesn't have the alt art.
It doesn't have the alt arts in there?
No.
On
That's
like the big page?
No, not in this article.
Okay.
We go look at the Pokemon Short if you want to see some of those. Shout out to Pokebeach.
People are waiting in line for like 12 hours in Japan right now. People are waiting in line overnight to get this set. Not only because of this set is actually just great, and this is only some of the cards that are going to be in our Paldea Evolve set, because as you know, Japan gets smaller sets more often, and we get larger sets less often. Our Paldea Evolve set is going to be insane.
Yeah, we'll only be missing some of the cards. They cut some cards from each set and put them into tins and stuff like that.
This set is looking incredible. It's looking really, really playable. You're going to want to pick some of this up. You're probably going to want to pick up a booster box, I imagine. And then the other reason is because some of the best arts we've seen yet are printed on these. The Pokemon, the trainers, all across. They got rid of rainbow rares now, and then instead of rainbow rares, they're just an alternate art of a full art.
I'll give you a taste of one of them.
Yeah, here you go. Look at that. So now you have
here's Iono.
You have your regular art, your full art, then your alternate full art, which is great. And this card is gonna be money. That Iono is gonna cost so much dollars.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot.
I'm so excited for the full arts and the alternate full arts. I really like this one in the snow with the Starlies. I think I'm a big fan of Starly. I just didn't realize it.
There's a lot going on. All right.
Yeah, anyway. That's it.
Let us know what you're most excited to play. For me, it's going to be Fortress and Chinwo.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the GLC boosts.
Yeah, it's boost for everything, bro.
Of course.
There's a lot of good cards.
Scramble, is it Scramble or Reverse? Scramble's the old one. It's Reverse Energy is what it's called now. I'm excited for Reverse Energy.
Yeah, me too. Thank you guys for stopping by. Make sure to subscribe. We'll do content like this more often.
Like the video.
Of course, leave a comment. Communicate with us. We like talking back. I'm Michael. This has been Tim.
And
And that's it. We'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.